and welcome to That Scroll Speaks. Did you hear my hesitation? I was like, did I hit record? I did. Welcome to That Scroll Speaks. Today is Wednesday, April 24th, and this is episode 244. How are you? I'm Amy Beth. Also, did I say that? Also known as the Fat Squirrel on Ravelry and the Fat SQRRL on Instagram. Oh my goodness, how are you? I hope you're doing well. April, what's going on with you, April? I don't know what's even happening. I'm on the floor. I can't even sit in a chair today. It's just too much energy circulation. I don't know what's happening. Last time you guys were so cute and kind about my fancy appearance, apparently. I did learn that the messy bun, that's the thing that you actually construct, or like some people have to construct it. People who have hair like mine have to actually construct it. And so I constructed the fancy bun for you and you noticed. And I can't say it. I'm like, oh my goodness. You complimented me on my glasses. Those are not new, but I haven't worn them a lot. They're like my summertime glasses. It's very dreary today, so they're not making an appearance. Also, I just didn't want your standards to get too high. Come on. I don't want to have expectations that I'm not going to meet. Because I'm 40 and didn't know a messy bun was something you constructed. When I hang out with other humans, we don't talk about how to fix hair. We talk about yarn stuff. But anyway, oh, my glasses though. If you do I think all of my glasses that I wear, yeah, because my bifocals are the only ones that are not a Zini prescription or a Zini option. And I don't wear those because they make me nauseous. Let's not talk about that $500 piece of paperweight that I own. Oh my gosh. I could totally have bought a wool picker, y'all. But let's not talk about it. If you liked my glasses, you can totally get some too. They're from Zini. Do you want to know what number the frame is? I'll tell you. It's 124516. I don't get any money from Zini. Frame number 124516. But I do enjoy their services. And my total charge for those glasses was $14.90. Because I didn't get any of the fancy coatings. I have purchased the fancy coating. And I thought I actually had the fancy coating on some of those other pairs, but I didn't. And quite frankly, I can't tell the difference in the level of work I do, the level of messiness. I'm going with a straight plain coating from now on. Just saying. So yeah, if you want some, you can totally get some. Be fancy with me. We'll be the fanciest. Okay, that's all of that wrap up. Oh my goodness. So this week I have knitting. Yes. I do have finally a finished object. Oh my gosh, it's been so long. I'll show you how tiny it is in a minute. And I have some sharing from the fiber event that happened in Greencastle this last weekend. So I'm happy to talk about that. And yeah, so let's get into it. First off, I will totally see you at Needles Up, Maryland Sheep and Wool, y'all. Needles Up is a pop-up event that happens the day before Maryland Sheep and Wool. If you Google Needles Up Maryland 2019, you'll find all the information on Legacy Fiber Arts pages. It's a super cute venue. It's very chill vibes. I hope to see you there. It's free admission as long as you're not a VIP person, and those tickets are all sold out anyway. So it's free admission. You just stop by and say hello. I have lots of cute bags. I'm just saying. I was going to have hedgehog bags for you, but then I accidentally ordered the wrong fabric type. And I was super disappointed. But then I realized that I ordered some fancy organic knit that had a little bit of spandex in it. And now I'm going to have hedgehog panties, y'all. And if I'm wearing my hedgehog panties, I won't be wearing them to Maryland. I'm not going to have anything done. And I will totally show you my hedgehog panties because they are so cute. I need to learn how to make panties, obviously. I don't know, man. They're so cute. Maybe they need to be an outer. But anyway, okay, I digress. There's lots of cute bags coming. Gus is trying to act super cute, like he's not Gustav the Destroyer of all things we own. Don't let him fool you. He's a 12-pound destructor. Like, there's a house next door that I really wish they would tear down. It's been abandoned for over a year. And I'm kind of considering just like letting him go, because I think he could take care of it. I think within like 36 hours that house would be rubble. He's pretty powerful. We got him like a bionic chew toy, which again, there's no standardization in place for chew toys, which is ridiculous, but whatever. We got him a bionic chew toy. His 12-pound ridiculous self destroyed it in like 20 minutes. It's not bionic at all. He's the worst. He has other things that he's not destroyed, don't get me wrong, but... Right? What are we talking about? Maryland Sheep. Well, I'm actually really concerned about leaving him home all day on one of those days. I might come home from Maryland to no house. Just my family sitting in a hammock with the dogs just like running around them. That's what's going to be, I'm afraid. Anyway. So I hope to see you there. It's a lovely time. And I will be at Maryland Sheep and Wool on Saturday, so the first day of the festival, and I will try to come to the podcaster meetup. I showed you last time where it is. So it's near the 4-H. I'm like trying to remember. It's near the 4-H building on the showgrounds, and it's at 1:30 on Saturday. So I hope to see you then. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about stuff. What should we talk about first? I guess we should actually talk about knitting first, in case, because I do want to show you some things I purchased at at the Fiber event, which I don't usually show hauls or whatever, but it's cute and local, and like it was fun. So, spoiler alert, I did not buy a fleece. That means I'll definitely be buying one at Maryland. No, I won't. Okay. So let's talk about knitting, because that's what I told you we do. Okay, so since I've been in like sweater slumpville, it's not that I don't like my sweaters that I'm knitting on. I really do. And I enjoy knitting them, but for some reason I have just, my momentum has been shifted. Like there's Mercury retrograde or Jupiter retrograde or something's retrograding. I know some of you are totally rolling your eyes right now. I'm rolling my eyes at myself. I'm just looking for a reason that I have just been in like this slumpiest slump. Like, ridiculous. I filed my taxes like the day before they were due, which is really not me. Now I love to procrastinate, don't get me wrong. But I also love to think that there will be like a huge internet crash the day before, and like there will be an EMP pulse that will go out and I won't be able to file my taxes. And then I will be in arrears to the US government, and they will definitely come and get me, because even though I don't make as much as Donald Trump, I do have to pay a lot more taxes than him, which is $0. Do I pay more than Amazon? Yes, I do. Okay, let's not get into that. That is a whole different kettle of fish, as they say. But anyway, so I love to like think that there's something that's like going to be crazy that happens that will prevent me from filing my taxes. So while I hate to do it and I do procrastinate, I've never not done them before March before. This year I was just like, let me just let that sit on my chest and give me angina. I don't have angina. But that's like, I'm having mental angina. There's an elephant sitting on my brain, right? Like, let's just let the elephant sit on my brain until April 14th. Sure. Sounds like a plan. I think it's a good idea. Sure. Sounds good. Anyway, so, so there's been like all of the, I just have not, motivation has just not been good. And I know it'll pass. Like I can already kind of feel, like I can kind of feel like the stuff sloughing off of me, like whatever it is. It's like I can already feel like I am having more motion, But man, it's been a real sludgy, like, and it's not even like I'm like, oh, I hate the winter. I don't hate the winter. I don't hate the lack of light, but maybe secretly that is part of the problem. Even though I'm not like the seasonal affective disorder, but maybe I just have like the seasonal slug disorder. I'm just feeling sluggy. Sorry, I keep looking over there. Gus, I just checked to make sure that he's chewing on his appropriate chew item and not like my sewing machine. Sorry, I am a little distracted by him and his shenanigans. Anyway, so I feel like sometimes when I feel like that, when I have like large projects that are not like moving through at a clip, or that I've like paced awkwardly, like right now I'm at this almost at the same place. That's actually not true at all. I'm a liar. Forget I just said that. But like I'm on a stockinette sloggy place on both of my sweater projects currently. And so sometimes I need to like just break out of that. And I love to knit shawls, but I don't really want to take on like another, because every shawl I want to make is like a 1200 skein shawl, right? Or 1200 skein. Also that's a big project bag, y'all. That's a stash diver. A 1200 yard shawl. So I decided what I would do is cast on a toy, and that was a very good decision. Very good decision. Let me show you. So originally I thought I would cast on for Susan B. Anderson's, it's like, let's talk about toys just really briefly. I was going to cast on for Susan B. Anderson's mini sock yarn bunny, which I believe I have made before, but I mean, I already owned this pattern, but that does not mean anything. I think I've made it before. And I love Susan's patterns. They're always, of all of the stuffy patterns I've ever made, there's a lot of good stuffy designers. But I would always trust Susan's patterns. I would have no hesitation to make one of Susan's patterns, especially stuffies, because she is very focused on cleverness in her design. Like, making the pattern so that it is the easiest, most succinct way to make the object that is possible. And so if you've ever made stuffies or like made them somebody put on my Instagram, I've made a stuffy, but it has like 34 pieces and now I don't have the will to sew it together. Yeah, me either. I'm actually depressed for you. Like, that sounds horrible. And like, I'm not even super anti-mattress stitch. Like, I do think mattress stitch is cool and amazing, but like it's never straight mattress stitch seaming on toys because there's always curves and weirdness, and like that just sounds horrible. But Susan patterns are written on the round, so there's very little seaming. Usually she has you picking up for legs and everything like that. So there's A1 patterns. But I decided that was originally what I was going to do. I gathered a bunch of browns and things like that to do like a scrappy little bunny, and I was all set to do it, and then I decided all of a sudden that I actually did want something that was written for worsted weight, because I wanted to use at least 2 strands for a more modeled, slightly more naturalistic look in the yarn. So I decided that I would hold off on my fingering weight mini sock yarn dude, and that I would instead look for a pattern that was either worsted weight or you know, close to there too. I'm so sorry, I keep burping. I'm a horrible hostess. The worst. Again, I felt like I didn't want to get your hopes up with that last episode, me looking nice and stuff. Let's bring it right back down. So instead what I decided to go for is Henry's Bunny. And it does not say. I'll put in the show notes who the designer is, but her name is not easily visible on this pattern. But it requires about 80 yards of worsted weight yarn. And he's this cute little, well, you can see how the size of him. And so what I decided to do was I used these three yarns together. So a mohair silk. This is actually a skein of Knit Picks, which is the jackrabbit color. It's Stroll, right? Yeah. Knit Picks and the jackrabbit color, which I had left over from another project. And then this one is a Jamieson and Smith. This is like deep old stash. Like, you can tell that I love Jamieson because there's probably no scrap yarn in my life that's as old as this scrap yarn. This was left over from a sheep hide hat. So this one is shade 2002. Sorry, that's not very helpful. But anyway, so I've never gotten rid of those scraps because, hi, they're precious. Jameson and Smith is magical. And by the way, the Green Castle, there's totally a booth of Jameson and Smith in it, and I did not buy anything. And I am both proud of myself and regretting my decisions. Do you know how that goes? That's what I'm feeling. But anyway, so I put these three together. And you want to see my dude who's finished? Are you ready? Right. How cute is my bunny? Focus on it, camera. Show the people my cute bunny. Oh yeah, there we go. Shut up. Isn't he super duper cute? Right. No, you have to sew his legs on. There's no other seaming. Oh, I'm sorry. And you have to sew his head closed, like where you stuff him, and you like sew his. It's very well done little pattern. And he's super cute. And I don't know if you can tell, but he's fuzzy because of the mohair silk. That mohair silk, I didn't say, is Valley Yarns. So it's from Webb's. And that's their Southampton base, which is a mohair silk. And the camera is just not working with me. Camera! Thank you. I just used an angry voice, and so Gus looked at me like, what did I do? Cute. And so I didn't have, somewhere in my life, there are a bunch of safety eyes. I could not tell you where those are. I don't want to admit that, but it's true. Okay. And so I was really, like, I got done, and then I was like, wait, I don't have anything to make eyes with. And I was like, I don't have any tiny buttons. I don't have any safety eyes. And I was looking at shank buttons, and like, I need to order them. I needed to order like a quantity of 50 or 100. And I was just like, I don't need 106mm shank buttons. That's crazy pants. And so I was like, and God forbid I go to a store. Shush with that suggestion. And so I was like, I don't even have any black yarn. What's wrong with me? I don't have black yarn. I don't know what to do. What am I going to do? I'm knitting a whole sweater out of nightshades. It's literally 4 inches from my head. Wow. Okay, it's more than 4 inches from my head. It's like 24 inches from my head. Well, I'm like pondering like this like terrible, like maybe I do just need to spend $8 on 106mm safety eyes. Maybe I'll just like throw them like I'm throwing money when I go to events. I don't know what to do. An entire black sweater. Why? Did my brain not? So I like then made the connection and was like, oh, yeah. So I just used colonial knots for his eyes, which is just like an alternative to the French knot. I have horrible luck with French knots. Colonial knot, though, my jam. So I just used that, and it's super cute. He's got little hair still, nightshades eyeballs. Ironically, in the Insomnia colorway. Sorry, buddy. You can't close your eyes anyway. I don't think you're sleeping. So cute to see. Right. So that's Henry's bunny. Just make him scrappy and fun. Go crazy. And the way he's constructed, you could even like make his nose, like you could just do a teeny bit of intarsia and make his nose like a lighter or darker color. He's super cute and very well constructed. So yay that. F-O. In the same vein, the reason I wanted to do that modeled look with the yarns is I have lately been looking at the patterns by Claire Garland, who is known as Dot Pebbles. So Claire Garland. And she has this such a cute natural looking bunny out. She's got several, and she's even got like they're not brands. What are the different kinds of bunnies? Breeds of bunnies. She's got many bunny brands. Okay. But she's got this one out that's a natural, like it looks like a more natural bunny, and it is so cute. And it's so cute that I feel like I need to show you so that you can be like on board with it. Okay, so I had to go look on Ravelry because I needed you to see it. Gosh, it's going to be the worst. Oh, maybe I hold it really close. So this is her pattern called what? Oh my gosh, right? Are you dying? Is that not so cute? So you can see it's got a really tweedy kind of naturalistic effect. However, now I did not look at this pattern specifically, but the other pattern I have from her is written flat and everything is seamed. So I was just like, not sure I'm ready to jump into that pond, especially when I'm looking for a fasty fast project. However, what I did decide to do was her little duckling pattern. So this is also by Claire Garland. And you can see she holds a 4-ply and a 2-ply together. And that is what is written in the pattern. So it's written for sport weight. But to create the multi-layering of color, I used a 4-ply and a 2-ply yarn held together. This is written flat. I'm just doing it in the round. It's true. We'll see what happens. So far, so good. So I'm using, I'm not going to show you yet. I'm using the Juniper Moon Patagonia from my sweater in the mustard colorway. And then this again is the Valley Yarn Southampton. And so check out my Jemima Puddle Duck. Oh my gosh. It's not done. I'm sorry. It's in progress. So don't be disturbed. She doesn't have a head yet. Right. How cute is that? And I'm not gonna lie to you, I would have totally finished this had I not like just been like, dude, you gotta work on something else. Because it was so fun. And it is so fun. And now I'm gonna work on our little rump and I'm super excited about it. Right. Ah, okay, you're like, dude, this looks like nothing to me. I'm sorry that this is not a 3-dimensional show, yo. But just trust me, it's exciting. Like, look at her little breast. This would be weird out of context, but you know what I mean, like her duck breasts. Whatever. But she's got a little curvaceous figure, but how cute is she? So thus far, it has been completely not a problem to just knit this dude in the round. And I really did look quite a bit before I decided to do that to make sure. I didn't make sure, but looking at her like piecing diagram, I was like, I'm pretty sure that that's doable in the round. So we'll hopefully it doesn't bite me in the butt, but we'll see. So I'm still not sure what I'm going to do about its little bill. I think I know what I'm going to do for its feet. But the bill, I'm like, the bill is so interesting because I think she says to use embroidery floss. Yeah, she says pink or dusky pink embroidery, silk or thread for the beak. Pink or orange for the feet. Isn't that interesting? So you actually use just thread, embroidery thread for the feet and then in the bill. How fun is that? Anyway, so I'm very excited about it. It's so cute. And I love using the mohair silk on the softies because like it really helps with those gaps that your stuffing and whatnot would show through, so you don't feel like you have to knit it quite as crazy a tight gauge. And I'm just really digging it. It's so cute. So anyway, I hope it turns out well. But so far, I'm really excited about it. Can you tell I'm like dancing? So between Henry's Bunny and Little Duckling, I'm pretty jazzed. Okay. Okay. So then let's continue on to show you the rest of the things I'm working on. I picked up one of my languishing sock things. And unfortunately, I'm going to do I had to do some negative knitting. I had to frog. How appropriate a color, right? But here's my first sock. This is Knit Spin Farm. This is one of her original colorways. Something about Ireland. It's been a minute, like over a year that I bought it. And Unfortunately, it's a sport weight Tarhi, which I love. I love Tarhi anyway. I love the Tarhi fingering weight sock yarn, and I love the sport weight sock yarn. Love them both. They're so plump. So enjoyable, and the texture of them is just wonderful. But so I knit this one, and then I was at a gathering of folks and cast on for this one, and didn't even check to see how many stitches, because I usually do 64 stitches for a sport weight sock. Apparently I was going to give these to somebody else, and so I got further than this, because again, I'm still knitting what I ripped out, and realized, those are not in any way the same width. I was so proud of myself for working on my sock, only to realize that I had done it 4 stitches too big. But anyway, so I ripped it out, and so now I've started back again. So yeah, so I got this much done. But anyway, it's very enjoyable, and I was talking to some folks about this. I need to just make more time to knit socks, because I do enjoy it. It's just not what I tend to reach for when I'm at home. Like, I've kind of gotten myself into the program of like sock knitting is out of the house knitting, and I don't leave the house that much anymore. So I don't get a lot of knitting done. So I need to set up like a Tuesday night is sock night, and just knit on socks one day a week. And that would be helpful to me, I think, because I have lots of great socks that I do want to make that I'm excited about, and I just don't make time to do them. So, I mean, look at this, right? You want those socks? So anyway, so there's that. And I'll just do afterthought heels, like true afterthought heels. I can't believe I'm a person now who likes that over the waste yarn method. The reason I like the true afterthought, which is where you actually snip the yarn, is that you get less of that gap on the edge. Now, you can totally do lots of different things to close that gap up if you're doing the putting in the waste yarn. But so like, I think you have to do it that way. Like, you can do lots of things to close that gap up. But I do really enjoy just not even worrying about where the waste yarn is going to be, just knit the thing, which is wonderful. And then combine that with the fact that I do like the way it works when you snip it. I think I'm now a true afterthought convert. Oh my gosh, who am I? Even though it's like extra ends weave in, which is sacrilege, but what are you going to do? The heart ones with the heart ones. So the next thing I have to show you is my Emma yoke pattern, which of course I have left the instructions somewhere else, because that's just like how I like to roll. So let's see if we can find her. Oh, it'd probably be better to look in my actual patterns. So the Emma yoke pattern, which is a pattern by Astrid Tooting. And I have officially finished my yokes color work, which looks like nothing to you because it's on a tiny needle, but that's how I like to knit. So there it is so far, right? Very Easter eggy. It's rolling. But so I finished my yoke, so now I'm just on a straight stockinette. I've got some more increases to do before I break off the sleeves, and I am looking forward to breaking off the sleeves. But it's really cute, right? Now my decision is, do I make it a crop? I don't know. Originally I was going to make it a regular length short sleeve sweater. Well, cap sleeve, no sleeve, bind off sleeve, very little sleeve. Because I really do like that. But now I'm really in love with these cropped sweaters, and so I'm like, do I make it a cropped sweater with long sleeves, a cropped sweater with short sleeve, a cropped sweater with cap sleeve? I don't know what to do. Oh! I think I may make it a cropped sweater. Right? But then the question is the sleeve length. Because I have enough yarn probably to do a full sleeve if I only do a crop. because I have 2 more full skeins of the main color. Plus, this is a fairly full skein. So, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I'm such a nerd. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited about my sweater projects. It's not like I'm not excited about them. They're just taking a long time because they're fingering weight sweater projects. Well, the other one's DK, but whatever. That's totally different. I'm just putting them together. This is actually sport. I'm just a liar who lies. I'm sorry. But whatever, they're sweater projects and they take more time. Stop judging me. But it is really quite excitingly lovely. And so I'm thinking maybe it'd be fun to make it cropped. Okay, so that's on the burner. What yarn is this? Whatever. This is Juniper Farms Patagonia. I have so much hesitation. Yeah, Juniper Moon. I'm sorry. Juniper Moon Patagonia. And it's an organic merino. It's a 2-ply. I've never worked with it before. I love the way it feels. He's chewing a bone on top of a sweatshirt. I know there's a sweatshirt on the floor because I was wearing a grubbier sweatshirt before I did the podcast. There's not just randomly a sweatshirt on my floor. Don't judge me. Anyway. So he loves to chew something on top of something else where you're constantly like afraid that he's going to get the other thing in his mouth. Dude. Anyway. I really enjoy this yarn quite a lot. I have enjoyed knitting with it, and I am excited to break for sleeves because, again, when you're a super fat lady with super fat arms, that full-on circumference is intense. Like, I'm supposed to end up with, like, almost 500 stitches. That's a lot of stitches, yo. Some of you are like, well, maybe that would encourage you to, like, put down the chips and go somewhere. Shush. Don't bring that energy here. I know you didn't bring that energy here. I know it wasn't you. So, I'm thinking crop, though. Because I love all the fat ladies in the crop sweaters. I love them. They're super exciting. Super cute. Hecky Thump, I heard your comment about not wanting to make a yarn bra. I am 100% in on yarn bra. I'm anti-bra. Pro yarn bra. She didn't make that comment to me, by the way. She made a Soldotna and said she didn't want it to be a yarn bra. And I'm like, I want everything to be yarn bra now. It's bra's only chance to redeem itself is to be a yarn bra. Bra. Oh, bra. I can't take it. Anyway. Okay, so the next thing I have to show you, it's really disintegrating, isn't it? I'm sorry, y'all. I told you there's Jupiter retrograde or something. I'm just here laughing at my own jokes, and I can just see your faces like, don't worry, it was funny to me. So then the next pattern I have that I'm working on is the Ducat by Kate Davies. But I decided to make it much more cropped than she said I should. She said that I should make it 14 inches, and I said, no thank you. I will make it 9. Actually, maybe it's slightly more than 9. Now that I say that, I think it's maybe 11. But anyway, I say, because originally what the pattern has you do is, for the smallest size, I think it's something like, after you take off the arm sleeves, I think you do something like 3.5 inches of stockinette and 3.5 inches of the ribbing. But then by the time you get to my size, which is the biggest size, which by the way is actually supposed to be bigger than the biggest size because there's supposed to be like 38 inches of positive ease or something. But the only time a Kate Davies pattern will fit me is when there is 38 inches of positive ease. Anyway. So for the smallest size, I think it's something like 3.5 inches stockinette, 3.5 inches rib. But then for my size, it's 7 inches stockinette, 7 inches of rib. Which I'm like, well, I know I'm twice as big around, but I don't think I'm twice as tall. And I know that's not exactly how that works out, but still. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, I did not do that much. Let's just see what I did, because I have a measuring tape right here when I don't need it. When I do need it, Lord knows where it is. So I did do my 7 inches, but then instead of doing 7 inches of the ribbing, I just did what the smallest size would be. So I only did 3.5 inches of the ribbing. And I gotta say, I mean, I tried it on. Of course, there's no sleeves and like it's all weird, but I think it's pretty cute. And it makes me want to sew all of the dresses. So this is, whatever. You want to know what yarn it is? All right, Demando, I will tell you. This is Nightshades by Harrisville Designs. It's an American Cormo, and this is the Insomnia colorway. So each skein has 250 yards, and it's listed as a DK. It is definitely, I would say, a light DK. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's DK. That's what they say it is. And so part of me was hesitant to make it shorter just because I'm like, I don't have so much yarn, but I still have like 3 skeins of yarn that I have not even caked. And then this is pretty full still. So part of me was like, oh, I gotta use all my yarn. Do you do that mentality of like, well, I need to use all of this yarn. I can't have extra because that would be wasteful. Like, I'm not gonna use this somewhere else. I'll just make a million bunny and duck eyes out of it, apparently. So I decided that I would make it shorter. And so now I'm working on the sleeves, and I think I will do the sleeves as written, which is kind of like a bracelet length. So the question is then, how long do I make the sleeve? Well, I think what I kind of like the look of, so like, let's say this is my sweater. And like, let's say this is my widest point is my bust. Now, actually it's my butt, but that sweater, it's not even involving my butt. I don't know, this podcast is ridiculous all. Anyway, so I think my options for the sleeve are either to do it as a cap sleeve, so it's raglan, so just right after I separate the sleeves, which makes a cap sleeve. So that way you have a line here and a line here-ish. So they're different points. Or I make the bracelet link. So again, so that the lines are not the same. I like the line of the sleeve to not be the same line as the body ending. Does that make sense? Like, I don't like my sleeve hem and my body hem to be visually exactly the same place. If it's a longer sweater, it doesn't matter as much. But I think on the shorter sweaters, I like a little bit of difference. So, I don't know. Cap sleeve or bracelet length? I think bracelet length. I think that's probably more versatile for me. I think so. And it's not because I need to cover my arms. Because I don't. Just because I think it's DK and it's woolen spun, so it'll probably be a little bit warmer. So I probably will wear it more in like the fall, early spring, winter versus in the summertime because it's also black. So I think I'm talking myself into bracelet length. Also, I've already knit on the sleeve, so I can't make a cap length unless I take it apart, which would be obscene. So that's how much sleeve I have so far. Yay! And I like the look of the sleeve because it has a big bunch of this ribbing on it, so that's fun too. So I'm pretty jazzed about it. It really doesn't look like much to you because it's just so dark, but it is exciting. And I need to make 100 dresses to go with it. Okay, I need to make 2. And that would be enough dresses for me, but still, it's exciting. Super exciting. So yeah, that's all that. Then let's talk about Greencastle. So if you're not interested in that, I totally get it. I'll see you later. Greencastle. Okay, so Greencastle, Indiana is about 50 minutes west of Indianapolis. It's in the middle of nowhere. Because, Indianapolis is already kind of in the middle of nowhere, and then it's even more nowhere-y. Okay. And it's like the first fiber festival I went to as a spinner, I think. Now that I say that, that might not be right. I might have gone to that little festival in Portland first. But anyway, I remember going to it before I was a spinner and being like, because I went to it, I think, a while ago, and not being as into it because it was at a point, I don't know, I'm making things up, but there was a point before I became like a knitter with a capital K where like a skein of sock yarn meant nothing to me. I was just like, that is not interesting to me. I think maybe went to Hoosier Hills. Maybe that's what I went to. Anyway, the first fiber festival I went to, it was Hoosier Hills. Okay, now I remember. First fiber festival I went to, I was not into it. I did not spin at the time, And I was definitely a value garment knitter. I did not knit socks, or if I did, it was like a fluke for like a gift or something. And so to see a skein of sock yarn that was like $23 was like blew my mind. I was, who's that fancy person? Now I'm that fancy person. Oh my gosh. But it's like was totally not, so I just didn't enjoy it very much. But now I really love them. And so the first time I went to the fiber event as a spinner, I was really like, ah, and it was totally overwhelming and awesome and amazing. And it's still really fun. Like, even though I've been to Rhinebeck and I've been to Maryland Sheep and Wool, those are amazing. I've been to the Kentucky Festival. I've not been to Michigan, maybe this year, because I'm not going to Rhinebeck. Maybe I'll go to Michigan. But it's still really enjoyable. And it's always fun. And so I went Saturday morning and shopped around, and then we did a meetup, which was super cute. We didn't do it in the 4-H barn this year. We did it in the adjacent barn. There was slightly less raccoon poop, and it was just a little bit more open vibe. It was a little bit less like I was asking you to come to our murder barn, you know, because you probably don't think I'll murder you, because like my whole livelihood is based on this, and like I have given the world information about where I will be. And so if there is a giant murder scene in the 4-H barn in Greencastle, Indiana, they're probably going to know who to look for. Don't get any ideas, murderers. Anyway, or raccoons, who I think one day will join together into a mega raccoon a la like Mega Transformer and probably take over some stuff. But anyway, that's another story. Oh, so I made it a little bit less murdery for you this time. You're welcome. So it's so fun. We just sat and chatted for an hour, knit. It was great. Thank you so much for coming. If you came, it was lovely to see all of your faces. Returning faces, new faces, super fun. There were square donuts from Bloomington. Oh my gosh, there were cookies. People brought treats. I'm telling you, we have a high caliber of viewer, people. High caliber. So that was super fun. And then after I did that, I had to go buy donuts for my family and then carry a spinning wheel, a box of donuts, and all of my junk to my spinning class. Because of course I cut myself super short because I wanted to sit and talk as long as I could. Such a fool. Anyway, carrying like a spinning wheel and what's that thing? A lazy Kate, and like my spinning bobbins and my thing and the orifice hook and but then also a box of donuts and a spinning wheel. It's crazy. Crazy. But so anyway. So then I went to my spinning class, which was such a delightful surprise. Okay, we'll talk about this and then we'll talk about stuff I bought. Such a delightful surprise. It was directed by Kate Larson, who is the editor of Spinoff. What, Greencastle, Indiana? What? And so it was a class about spinning for sock yarn. And I will not even lie to you. Earlier in the day, I was feeling very sludgy, as I have said, and very not motivated and wondering why I had signed up for this class when really all I wanted to do was go home and snuggle down. And I was just feeling very like, oh, maybe I'll just write off that $45 and just not. And then I was like, no, you signed up for this class. I'm so glad I took the class. So glad. So it's about spinning for sock yarn. It was wonderful. If you ever have a chance to take a class by her, I highly recommend it. Joanna Spring of Knit Spin Farm also recommends her. So, I mean, hi. Basically, that's 100% guarantee that you're going to like the class. No money back guarantee, sorry. Some of you can't be satisfied. I'm not saying you, but somebody else. You know who she is. It was so good. So she had some samples. She had this beautiful Estonian sock, which was crazy gorgeous. So knit on 6/0 needles. Like I've knit on 00 needles. I can't, what does a 6/0 needle even look like? Does it look like wire? How is it not bent? How do you not, how is it even structurally sound? Because I don't think they've got a lot of carbon fiber hanging out in Estonia. I'm guessing. I don't know. But like, what is it even made out of that is not breaking? So this like such a tiny, tiny, tiny gauge. And she was talking about the breed of sheep they currently have is their native sheep, which is something similar to like a Shetland or a Jacob, but then it has been crossed with like the British meat breeds to try to heft up and bulk up their sheep because they lost, now that I say that, I can't remember if she said they lost almost all of their sheep or if they actually lost all of their sheep. But during the Soviet years where it was just so lean that they weren't able to maintain flocks. So now I apologize, I'm not 100% sure if there actually is native or if it is something like a Gotland or a brought in. Anyway, their sheep it has, because of this combination, has a shorter wool, so they are using a carded fiber prep. So these are worsted spun yarns, but they are from a woolen fiber prep. And they are delicious. And the reason I mention that specifically is that usually when you're learning about sock yarn, it's always worsted spun, worsted prep. That's kind of like the golden rule. It's supposed to give it more strength. It's supposed to give it more whatever. But I really love, I don't love spinning worsted. I hate spinning worsted. Just hate it. I'm going to put it out there. Now, I think I have actually gotten better. I think I hate spinning worsted on anything that's not really fine. I think that's actually what I've learned, is if it's super fine, I don't mind as much spinning worsted. Just whatever. Let you care. I'm sorry. Moving on. But so that was, and these socks were just gorgeous. So they have a plain white, I think there's like a little cable on either side. And then and so the Estonian, so what looks like an afterthought, like the pointy toe heel. And then the cuff, though, is the beautiful natural dye color work, like madder and what have you, indigo. Gorgeous. So she had that. She had a pair of socks that she had spun. One sock was 3-ply, one sock was chain ply. Just to talk about it's like, because some people say that you can't make chain ply for socks because it's just gonna blow up and catch on fire. And she's like, really? Because you can see that the wear in the socks is almost identical. There does not appear to be any greater wear in one or the other. And now she did say that it seems to be what happens to her is that when you do have a fail on the chain plied yarn, it tends to be slightly more catastrophic than the fail on a 3-ply. But just keep an eye on them. She talked about that. She talked about, it was so delicious. I mean, just in like the first 15 minutes, I was like, oh, I'm inspired and like energized and I want to spin all the things. And so, hooray for spinning classes. I feel like even when you know a lot of the things that the class is about, still take it. Because there's always this like ancillary information that makes it worth the price of admission, right? Like, just like the inspiration, the like motivation. And then there's always something that is, now there was more than one something. But for example, we were like, at the end, she was talking about mending socks. And just like as a total, like not part of the admission price, she's like, well, yeah, what you can do is just spin up a little bit of singles, just like a tiny bit. And then you can just make your own crewel thread embroidery yarn off of it, which is so obvious. Never thought about it. So you just like, and I would think, oh, that would not be worth it because then I have to spin a little bit of this and a little bit of that and then apply it together and it's going to be waste and that's a pain. Just like, well, dude, you're only using threads that are this long. So like you can just do a fold back on those. Like you're just doing like a test to see like your sampling test or whatever. You just do like a fold back on it and that's all the length you need. So just break it off and keep going. What? How did I not think about that? And then you just tie them all together at the end and wash them that way. And then you just snip them off as you go. Oh my gosh, my brain is going to explode. It's like, it's a little thing, but like, oh, what? I never thought about that. It's so cool. So that's why glasses are cool. Oh, I should totally. So there was a lot of sampling. I don't do sampling. I've never been a sampler, but she talked about a lot of different ways to do sampling, which I found. She didn't just talk about it. She demonstrated a lot of different ways to do sampling, and so I found that to be very helpful. Oh yeah, here's my crewel embroidery thread. It's not washed or steamed or anything else. It just settled. What? Oh, I just made that. Just, as you do. Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. Shut up. So now, like, you have like this like little tiny bit of something that you got like as a sample, because I'm always like, I don't know what to do with this like 2-gram sample that I got like just as a bonus. Hi, mending thread. Right. I know, right? You're like, you're really overselling this. Shut up. That's what I do. I oversell. I'm excited. Also, I'm excited. So I did lots of samples, which was really fun. And then where's that one? Oh, see. And then she talked quite a bit about 4-ply sock yarn, which normally I'm like, shut up. Like, I can't even get a 3-ply fingering. She tells me I gotta do 4-ply. She didn't tell me I had to do 4-ply. She suggests the possibilities of doing 4-ply. I'm like, I'm in. Let's do it. She talks about like finding an ideal blend for a sock yarn, and that one of the ways you can do that is to do a cable ply, which is where you have 2-ply yarns that you ply together. And like, I knew what that was and I'd heard of it before, but I never thought about it. She had lots of good reasons of why that would make a good sock yarn, and like why it would give you a lot of versatility in terms of like what fibers you're using. And I was just like, okay, you got me. I can't spend 3-ply, but yeah, I'm going to do the 4-ply. I'm in. Not that I'm not going to do a 3-ply too, but I'm just excited about it. So like, how fun is that? And so like, even though I know what a 4-ply is, I never do a 4-ply because like, hi, I know that my spinning is already not that fun. Oh my gosh, camera. Are you kidding me? It's like, you're too close now. Maybe I go this way. There you go. I don't know why it's so important for you to see it, because I was excited. That's why. So yeah, I'm interested. And I love the look of the 4-ply with the 2 different colored fibers, because instead of barber poling, you just get like speckling, which is super fun. Right? I am in. Clearly. So it was very hard to come home and not spin all the things, because I do need to prepare for Maryland for Needles Up, and that's very important. And I definitely have procrastinated until the last possible minute because, as I discussed, I'm having issues. But I just want to spin all the things. All of them. So anyway, it was excellent. So again, if you ever have a chance to take a class from her, I highly recommend it. Was a great class. So let's talk about stuff I bought, because hi, it's fun. So normally before I go to fire festivals, I'm pretty good about psyching myself up about what to buy and what not to buy. In terms of like, okay, you have enough, for example, single skeins of fingering weight yarn. Like, you do not need any more fingering weight yarn. You do not, unless there's something specific that I'm like, yes, I need neutral colors to blend with this for a project. But generally, you have enough of X yarn. You have enough of X fiber. You have so much fiber that you're not spinning because you're... And so, like, don't buy that. You have a fleece that's in the closet that's not been prepped yet. Don't buy a fleece. I totally would have bought a fleece this time if I had not taken that class that had, like, taken up the last few hours of the market. So even though I did have a few more minutes before things really locked down for the evening, it was not enough time to buy a fleece. So thank goodness. But like, I usually psych myself up. Like, you don't need this. You don't need this. You don't. And then this time I just didn't. Like, because I've been very frazzled this month and not together, I didn't do my customary, like, psych up. And so I bought a bunch of stuff. Now, luckily, again, if I had not had that class, I would have remembered to go back and get a fiber picker from Fancy Kitty. Totally would have done that. That's reasonable. I would have bought a fleece. I probably would have bought some more fiber. I would have just been insane. Oh my gosh. Really, lady? Really? So I did not do the regular psych up, and boy, did it show. So, oh my goodness, here's what I bought. I bought this because this was so pretty and natural, and you can't get it, I'm sorry, period. It's like an alpaca merino, and usually I'm very anti-alpaca, and it might just be because it has enough spinning oil in it that you're not getting the full floof of the alpaca, but it's only supposed to be 15%, I think they said merino, but it's just this great neutral oatmeal gray, and I really dig it. And I'm not gonna lie, like if something's got spinning oil in it, I'm in. I mean, because I tell myself it's lanolin, and I'm like, ooh, and sometimes it is. Sometimes it does actually have some lanoliness in it, but I think it's almost always just spinning oil. But don't tell my brain that. And so when I touch it and it feels sheepy, I'm like, okay, here are my dollars. So anyway, so I thought it'd be great for just like slippers or just like, again, something it will be. Slipper sounds really good. It's super earthy and grounding. Oh my gosh, I want to make them right now. Oh my gosh. So then, I'll just go in order of purchase. So then I stopped by Bumblebee Acres Fiber Farm, which so many of you have heard about, but I had not heard about. I apparently live in a cave. And they drew me in with a lot of beautiful stuff. They do a lot of like Games of Thrones, Harry Potter, but it wasn't that drew me in. It was that it was really lovely. It was very beautiful. And I really have been looking a lot at the cropped sweaters. Hi. So Caitlin Hunter has another one it was kind of, again, I had not made a list or anything like that, but it was in my head as something that I knew I wanted to make. And so it's the one that's like kind of oatmeal-y at the top and then has the color work at the bottom. Oh no, that's not it. Nordiska by Caitlin Hunter. So it's this one. So I kind of had that like rolling around in my brain that I wanted to make that. And I may modify it a bit, but something in that feel. So I knew I wanted something that was lighter, and I really am. Okay, there's no excuse for me buying any yarn, but I don't have any like light colored, like speckly stuff. So I saw this and thought, ooh, I think it might be too variegated, but we're just going to find out. It's beautiful even if it is, and it can be something else, but my thought is that it could be that. So this one is Coquette Sock, and that's what all the skeins I bought were, which is 75% Corriedale, 25% nylon. It's superwash. 434 yards. So I was also really excited that it was not a merino. Because, I mean, I'm not anti-merino, but for a sweater, I like something that's a little bit toothier feeling. And some merinos do have a little bit toothier feel to them, but the superwashes is usually kind of a hard thing. So I always liked the Corriedale sock and thought, maybe this could happen. So then I got I'll Await Your Raven, which is a Game of Thrones inspiration for the darker. And then a sucker for anything gold, always. I got Whiskey, which is Outlander inspired. So I thought these would be great. Oh, we'll see what happens. I don't know. But even if they don't work for the sweater, they're a great combo for a shawl or something like that. But I think they'll be great for the sweater. So her booth was beautiful. It had their booth. Their booth was gorgeous and had tons of beautiful stuff. Had tons of what I'm normally drawn to, which is like very saturated colors. And so I would say is more of the majority of their colorways, which are gorgeous. And I wish I had thought to get you a sample of something that was perhaps more representative. But I did really appreciate that there was this option, because that was kind of what was in my brain. We'll see. But I really want it to work. I hope it works. Ooh! And so then I was all like, oh, really? Okay, I wasn't planning on buying a sweater's worth. And so I walk around the corner. There's Lady Man Fireworks. And I'm like looking around. La, 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 la. And they're like, oh, have you seen our new non-superwash yarn base? And I was like, no. I guess you're going to show me. If they did. And curse them for it. So their non-superwash fiber base, or fiber, whatever, yarn, whatever, words. It's a fingering weight, it's 436 yards to 100 grams. And it's 100% non-superwash merino. Gothic Queen. Vengeance. Heirloom. Copper Cloud. Right? They were just like, buy me. Live in a Jane Austen fantasy world. We're so romantic together. I don't even read Jane Austen. Somehow. Right? And I'm totally looking at it, realizing it's like the exact colors that are in my first dress number 1, which I still love ever so much. And like, yeah, that's the reason I love that too. So, oh my gosh, now I could wear this with that. Yarn. Why are you so good? So as I said, that's Lady Man Fiber Arts. They're awesome. And lovely humans as well. So I was like, do you know what it's going to be? And I was like, well, no, not technically. I think my answer was like, there's a sweater and it's got like a hoobly-doo at the bottom. Which is like, let me see, I can show you which one I had kind of thought in my head. But I don't know, maybe I'll just make one up. Maybe I'll just make my own sweater pattern. I can do that. I'm fancy. I'm super fancy, y'all. So this one is also by Caitlin Hunter. And make it cropped, yay. That should be a new Lizzo song, is make it cropped, y'all. Right. Wouldn't it be super cute cropped? Now technically this is only 3 colors, but you could throw a 4th one in there. I live on the edge. Just saying. And Feather and Fan feels very romantical. I think it works. Curses. So then I went to, so then I went to Knit Spin Farm, and they had their self-striping, and Bill was there tubing them up for people. Tubing them up. So this is their colorway. Steve is not an Aurora. And I just remembered that I was supposed to look that up for you to tell you what was this about. Steve apparently is an astronomical event that is not an Aurora. So, Steve is not an Aurora, is in fact a astronomical thing that is, instead of like the soft part, like the soft, it's the striking like purple nonsense. And it's short for Strong Thermal Emission Velocity Enhancement. So that's the colorway. Steve is not an Aurora. See, there's... It's been part of the best. So anyway, so I bought this. Actually, this is going to be a prize for you. So this one is 64 stitches, but they're, right? So exciting. With the 30 grams left over. So that you can, you know, put in heels or toes or whatever you want to do. But right? How cute is that one? And this is the Targhee fingering, I think. Yeah, the Targhee fingering. So that'll be a prize for Patreon folks next quarter. Okay. And then also a prize for Patreon folks next quarter. Oh wait, no, I bought something else from this. Let me show you that. So then I also bought these batlings because I was feeling so romantical. This is a little by a little set, and they have a bunch of stuff in them. It's amazing. But see, I was just all in a romantic mood, apparently. What's going on with me? And I could not stop. I could not resist them. Right? Look at that nugget of beautiful, gorgeous fluff. Look at this one. Look at this one. If you are making kitty marshmallows, and that's not kitties, that's not marshmallows made out of kitties, but just marshmallows in the like spirit of kitties. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not a cat person, but I'm not that much not a cat person. But like, wouldn't that be, it'd be like a kitty marshmallow? Oh, that's right. Anyway, right? And then I learned about Steve on top of it. The world is just ready to give you information, y'all. It's gonna be ready to take it out. And then this is a prize for you. I got this from Two Dye Crew. They do natural hand dyed and art yarns. So this is a natural dye. This is called Firefly, and this is their 100% superwash poleware sock yarn. And it's super beautiful, super tightly spun. It's going to make a great pair of socks. I'm trying to see if it's 4 plies. Right. And so they do all natural dyes. Isn't that awesome? So, yeah. And then I'll get your 3rd prize at Maryland Sheep and Wool. I'll try not to get you 7 more prizes. And at the very end, I was so excited about that 4-ply being of 2 different colored natural fibers that clearly I just need to buy some natural fiber right now. So I bought this is a Shetland, and this one is a Jacob. And so I just wanted to do a fluffy, non-sock probably, but just a fluffy of the cable ply to just get a nice fluffy speckled natural yarn. And I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, I didn't bring that over. Crud. I'm not going to get up because it's just too much chaos. But I also bought, you know, those little egg baskets or melon baskets. Is that what they're called? I can't remember now. Like, I am the child of the 80s and early 90s. And so my mom totally took a basket weaving class at Bambi's. I can't remember the name of her store. It was right next to my elementary school. It was in an old bank. She almost poked my eye out with a piece of wet reed. So, of course, I remember that. She took more than one class. Oh, my goodness. So, now I don't want eggs in a basket. And I don't want a basket for my eggs. Oh, my gosh. Woven egg basket. Okay, is that what I want? Yes. Okay, that's what it's called. No, maybe not. Never mind. Oh, crud. This is maybe that's a melon basket. Okay, it's a melon basket. So it's the basket that looks like this. But she just gives it to you with the handle and then the like side hoops and then the ribs for the bottom and then this diamond woven. And so none of the body is woven, so you can use hand spun. And she had several little samples there. So I'll try to remember to show you next time. And of course I'm going to get it done up soon because I'm excited about it. And also I need to do it quickly so Gus doesn't eat it. So I'm sure he would love to eat that so much. So it's got the open, so you can just instead of weaving in the reed, just weave in. You can use yarn, obviously. You can use whatever you want. But I think that'd be so fun to have the sheepiest little natural sheep basket. Oh, I'm excited about it. So I got that too, but I didn't show you. I might have also gotten another basket kit from her, which is like a basket you're supposed to carry your broody hen in. And she was like, have you ever made a basket before? I'm like, no. She's like, well, might I suggest this simpler? I was like, no. I like to jump in head first. I'm what you call an adventurous beginner. You could tell she was like, oh, you're going to have problems. I probably will. It's fine. Here's YouTube. It'll be great. So yeah, right? So that's all my Greencastle stuff. And I think I should probably stop talking to you because my sinus medication is wearing off and I'm starting to hear the ocean in my ears. And you know, that sounds kind of pleasant, but it's actually not. Don't ever Google diagnose yourself. I know you've heard that a million times. But like when you look up hearing your heartbeat in your ear, it's all like, you have so much plaque in your veins that it's basically creating an echo chamber in your brain. And I'm like, oh my God! And as a fat person, I'm predisposed to think that everything's broken with me because that's what I've been told my whole life. And then I remember, oh yeah, no, that's right. This happens pretty much every spring. It's just sinus, like amplifying all that stuff. It's okay. Anyway, I guess I should stop talking now because it's probably been a minute. What was that noise? What is, my house is making weird noises. Anyway, I'll talk to you